FM online. We're the Good Neighbor Network, FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, audio and video streaming at wgnsradio.com. This is the Roundtable. A look at the news, views, politics, and people that are shaping Rutherford County.
Welcome in to the Roundtable on WGNS. It's a Wednesday morning. Glad to have you with us here in Murfreesboro. We are less than a week away from Election Day, and next Wednesday, Larry Burris will be joining me. We may have another guest or two, and we will be doing a recap of either the post-election or the continuing of the election. And on Wednesday morning, if there has or has not been a winner declared at that point. But be sure and join us next Wednesday morning. Get some insight on that from Larry Burris, and hope you'll join us. And gosh, it seems like it's been a little while since I've been up here, because last week's show was a recorded version with Stephen Faust and his new book. And hope you go back and take a listen to that and purchase his book. Today we're going to be talking about the annual salute to veterans, and also with got some great guests today. Hillary Miller from the Charlie and Hazel Daniels Veterans and Military Families Center. And how are you doing, Miss Hillary?
Well, thank you for having me.
Well, it's good to have you back. And Miss Rachel is, and I can never get your married and maiden names right. So you're a Fullerton now, right?
I'm
no,
right.
You're right now.
I'm right.
She's Miss Right now.
Yes, I confuse them too.
That's right.
So thank you.
So I'm the only one. And so Rachel's here from athletics, and Don Witherspoon, who has been involved in this for a long time, for what is always a big day on campus. Don, good to see you again.
Good to be here, Chip.
And thank you for helping organize all this.
A man without portfolio.
So that's right. Hillary, I want to, before we dive into the football game and all of the activities that go on with the Salute to Veterans Day, which, by the way, is still the longest running in college athletics and college football in the country. It started here, and it is still the longest running. I want to touch a little bit on the Daniels Center in general, and especially in light of what has happened on campus this week. And because of the services that you all provide to veterans, obviously it's a lot of everybody is probably aware that there was a student who chose to take their own life in the Walker Library on Monday, and I have to say that obviously that's tragic, no question about it, but from the outside looking in and seeing all the information that came out, the university jumped in both feet immediately with response and aid to the general student population, staff, faculty who needed someone to talk to, counseling, things like that. And when we talk about mental health issues, it's across the board. Everybody's talking about it, and that's a whole big long leading up to. Veterans are a special niche group that has their own has their own set of issues, and have for a long time, and they have been that's one of the things that the Daniels Center does.
I think that veterans, we've talked about it for a long time in the military community, and so it's something that is very normalized in our community to talk to each other and to check on each other. We have a full-time mental health counselor in the Daniels Center. I had met with Director Deeker that morning at 7:30 on Monday morning. He came over to meet with some of our staff to talk about greater services that we can provide in the Daniels Center. We have a full-time VSO that's there to help people file their claims. And when I say people, I'm not referring to just students. Our services that VA, both at the federal and the state level, have put into the center are available for anybody in the community. So I feel like the military community does have they definitely don't have the lock on mental health concern, but
Right.
they definitely, it's something that we put a lot of focus on. And so we never opened the Daniels Center without having a full-time mental health counselor. Like, that is something that we thought was foundational. And we talk about mental health all the time. It's not unusual to call someone and check on your buddy. In fact, my office manager had just that morning checked on a dependent and had that person come in, just because we think that's good practice to always be doing that.
Yeah.
And MTSU, I'm on some other committees that have nothing to do with veterans. Mental health is on the forefront, and just even Office of Caring. We have an Office of Caring on campus, and so we spend a lot of time trying to make sure that the whole person is addressed.
Yeah, and I had back I guess a month or two ago. She's still so brand new on campus, but Kalila Doss,
Yep.
the new VP of Student Affairs, she has such a motherly instinct about her, and I texted her yesterday, and I said, we're so fortunate, when there's so much right place, right time, and Middle is so lucky, I think, to have her in that role.
Sure.
At this particular time when something like that happens on campus.
Sure.
And when you have a community of, when you talk about students, faculty, and staff all on that campus at one time, you're talking about 30,000 people. That's a community within a community. Mm-hmm. and it's like a small town that when something like this happens, it sends a wave across campus.
Right. For sure.
I was reminded of the situation when Tina Stewart was killed,
Yeah.
and the way everyone on campus came together, and just the way that was handled by the university. I think is something that they should be very proud of.
Yeah, and Tina's death, which was a murder, that was just as shocking, and in that case, it dealt with a basketball player. Who a roommate had murdered her, and that was as you mentioned, it was a galvanizing moment across campus. But the point being here, folks, is that as we start to talk about and celebrate our veterans and put them out in the forefront for the Salute to Veterans game coming up on November the 9th, we just want to get that out there. And also never miss an opportunity to talk about the veteran, the services that are available at the Daniels Center
To anybody.
Right. and in particular any veteran. If you are a veteran and
Anywhere in the world, you just have to live on the world.
Yeah, just on this
our
planet.
Lane. That's our plan. That's our lane.
And what's the phone number over there in case there's a veteran out there who needs to talk to somebody today?
Well, let me just give you my direct number. We don't hide behind any gatekeepers. 615-898-5039. And they can walk in. We'll give them a parking pass. Nobody needs to go search for a parking pass. We'll provide that for them. And just walk in. We're open every day. We never close. We didn't go on a skeleton crew during the pandemic. We're there.
You were the only ones.
We were the only ones. That's right. And talk about the way MTSU really the care. I never had to fuss or fight with this. I told my boss, who at that time with Dr. Sells, we're not closing. We need to be open for the community. And she said, absolutely. There was never. We can differentiate our services. So what we do for one, we don't have to do for another group. We actually individualize at MTSU.
Yeah, and we'll be talking about other services that the Daniels Center offers. But again, and we're coming toward the holidays, which are also stressful times. And again, that's an even. Again, if you are a veteran, just contact the Daniels Center, and online it's mtsu.edu/veterans military.
That's right.
mtsu.edu/military, and you can find out all the information there and get all the contact information if you didn't remember the phone number. But Rachel Wright is here from athletics, and November 9th is it the 42nd annual Salute to Veterans, and that will be against Liberty of all people, and as we celebrate freedoms, but that will be a noon kickoff. So the schedule of events is moving up and it'll start early on Saturday morning.
Yes, we are starting very early, but it's very exciting since we're going to be on CBS Sports Network that day.
Yep.
So it's an awesome national platform for our football team, and should be a good matchup versus Liberty.
Good matchup, and also CBS, they'll do a good job of highlighting what goes on. So that's looking forward to that. It's we'll do this a couple of times, but run through the schedule of what's going to go on, Rach, or Hillary, both of you.
I'll start it off because we always start the day by recognizing our fallen, and that's we always do that. We have a beautiful, probably one of the only ones that's to veterans memorial on campus, not towards a certain branch or a certain war. Unfortunately, we can't be out at our memorial because of the construction that's going on. So we'll start the day out at the KUC Theater, which is where the KUC is where the Daniels Center is. So we're going to start in there at 8:30. We've chosen this year with Battle of the Bulge and everything else going on to recognize World War II veterans and just recognize that it doesn't have to be MTSU. But
80 years ago.
Right. And so that'll start in the KUC Theater at 8:30. Dr. Derek Frisbee will be talking about our participation at MTSU. We did have 14 service members that were students that fell in that in World War II, and he'll be kind of detailing their lives. Then I'm going to kick it off to you. So after that.
Yeah, so Party in the Grove will kick off at 9 a.m. Out. So it'll be a little bit of a crossover, but the 129th Army Band will be actually opening up on the Party in the Grove stage, which is super exciting. And then 9:30 we'll have the pregame picnic, and Vet Village will open. Christopher Rochelle with Hillary staff has worked incredibly hard to get a lot of great resources out there for veterans, active duty service members, and their families. So it'll be a great resource center for them. The picnic is completely free to all military veterans and their families. We'll have some breakfast items out there with an early start. They can also pick up their game tickets there. So if they haven't stopped by the Daniels Center already this week to grab them, they can grab their tickets at the picnic, and that will be in Walnut Grove this year, which is very different. We've been over at the Hall of Fame and then over by Tom Jackson, but we'll be right by the main stage, so right in the middle of it all.
Yeah, you're over by the Hall of Fame, and then you got one construction project move you over to the Tom Jackson building, and then the next construction project moved you over there. So here in about a year and a half, who knows? When the steel cranes leave campus, it'll be interesting. But that'll be a lot of fun. And again, every year, I've been around for a long time doing, being part of that, and you see veterans come on campus who may not have been there before, and that is an opportunity for our staff and to have an interaction. They're always, you can always tell when they're looking to know kind of where to go, and people always end up giving them good information. Don, you had something there?
Yeah, we should also mention that during the picnic in the Grove, around 10:15, we will be presenting the Dr. Joe Nunley Award. That award this year, I will not divulge.
I'll keep it quiet too.
But we are looking forward to it. I think the recipient is a World War II veteran,
Yep.
very much deserving, and we look forward to having that and a real good participation. Again, that's around 10:15. That will be in the picnic area at Walnut Grove.
Okay, will that be on the party stage or over in the tent? It'll be in the tent. Okay, so that'll all happen. So.
VA director will be there as well right before the Nunley speaking, so please come out. Even if you come earlier and eat, come back and see these presentations.
Okay, that's all happening on November 9th, and again, kickoff is at noon for football that day, and which as of this week, I think every game we've had has been a night game so far, but now we're all on Saturdays and we're all in the afternoons for the rest of the way.
We had an afternoon game, but it ended up being a night game with all the delays.
That's true.
Oh no, that's right.
Might want to add, Chip, that during the halftime of the game with Liberty, there will be the annual march around for the various services. We usually gather around Gate 2, probably 5 or 10 minutes before the end of the half.
Yeah, they'll make announcements within the stadium about that, and
the procession starts with the band, of course, playing, and it's certainly, I think, something very moving. I've done that many times, and it is quite moving, to see the fans and the reaction of the fans in the stands. The the way the march is lined up is the Army, Marine Corps, Navy, Air Force, and then, of course, the Space Force, which, of course, a lot of people may not be familiar with. We tried to get the Marine Corps first, but the Army guys wouldn't let us do that.
Okay, well, and on my radio crew, I've got one Army guy in Wayne Gross and one Marine veteran in Dick Palmer. So we're represented there. All right, we're going to take a break here and be back with the good folks from the Daniels Center and Blue Raider Athletics as we're talking the Salute to Veterans coming up on November 9th right here on the Big G WGNS.
Murfreesboro is conducting a special census. Listing everyone in your household helps the city qualify for more funding to improve roads, parks, and services. Murfreesboro Mayor Shane McFarland.
All we need is your address and the first and last names of everyone living at your home. That's it. Take part in our 2025 special census.
Complete the form online at murfreesborocensus.com.
Count me in.
Hey, count me in.
And count me in too.
Let's make sure every resident counts. Visit murfreesborocensus.com.
Where is the best barbecue in town? In 1920, East Main. The best barbecue for miles around is in 1920, East Main. You can buy it by the pound, sandwich, platter, or plate. No matter what you choose, it will taste great. You can come with a friend, by yourself, or with a date. Just Slick Pig Barbecue. Barbecue pork, beef, or chicken, Brunswick stew, great sides, lunch specials, down-home atmosphere, and they cater. Slick Pig Barbecue, it's the best.
We chose Adams Place for the security.
We're talking with Peggy Cunningham. What do you enjoy most about Adams Place?
They lock the doors at 8 o'clock at night, and you have to have a code to get in, so I feel very safe when I go to sleep.
Hi, this is Terry Deal at Adams Place. Call me for more information about Adams Place. Phone 615-904-9111.
On Memorial.
Across from Walmart.
This is Good Neighbor Events with Bart Walker. Brought to you by AmeriCare Pest Control and the law offices of John Day.
I've got pets. Here's Tom Sweat with AmeriCare Services Incorporated.
AmeriCare's moisture control services include mold testing, mold remediation, crawl space repair, vapor barrier, sump pump installation, radon testing, radon mitigation, and basement waterproofing. If there's something wrong in your crawl space or basement, we can probably help. Just ask for a free inspection.
893-7111.
All the best of the best to get rid of your pets.
AmeriCare Services Incorporated.
For over 77 years, you've depended on WGNS to get you the local news you need. And you still do. We thank you. Take advantage of early voting. Early voting continues through Thursday, so don't let it slip away. Take advantage of early voting. This Sunday is the Beasley Boo Bash. It's over at the Beasley Animal Foundation, Sunday from 1 until 4 in the afternoon. Lots of gifts and fun activities for your pet. That's the Beasley Boo Bash, this Sunday from 1 until 4. And the Beasley Animal Foundation is at 2215 Keeneland Commercial Boulevard, here in Murfreesboro. There's a trunk or treat Sunday from 4 until 6 at First United Methodist Church. First United Methodist Church is at 265 West Thompson Lane. That's Sunday from 4 until 6. Oh, and remember, this weekend is when we fall back in time. Take 1 hour off of your clock before you go to bed Saturday night. This is the weekend we change time. Those are WGNS Good Neighbor events.
Rutherford weather.
We'll see sunny skies here this afternoon, a high in the low 80s. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 67. Thursday, chance for showers late, cloudy, high of 80 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki on News Radio WGNS. Currently, it's 60.
Broadcasting from the Middle Tennessee Electric Studios, MTE Sharing Change has now donated more than $11 million to local nonprofits assisting worthy causes in our community. MTE, serving to make life better since 1936.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at wgnsradio.com.
Welcome back into the Roundtable on this Wednesday. Chip Walters with you. Glad to have you with us today. If you have questions about the Daniels Center, be sure and text us 615-893-1450. That's 615-893-1450. And again, we went through the schedule of events on November 9th, which is the way it falls this year. It is just 2 days before the actual Veterans Day on November 11th. And Don, you've got another event that's coming up out at First Methodist Church. You guys put on every year.
Yeah, this is an annual event that we have around this time of the year. Usually the Friday before the event on Saturday at MTSU. We call it the Night to Honor. It is a free meal for veterans and their families. We have a live music. We have a speaker who this year is Judge Royce Taylor, a retired Vietnam veteran, U.S. Navy grad, Navy SEAL, and retired judge. Quite a resume. The event starts. It's on Friday, November 8th. Doors open at 4:30. Dinner is at a little after 5. That evening, the Middle Tennessee Symphony has come back to First Methodist Church. They will be performing at 7, and if you register early enough for this, we have free tickets for that event as well. But this is something we've been doing for several years. We have a very active Veterans Committee at First United Methodist Church, and we're honored to be able to do this for our veterans.
Yeah, that's great. And I was able to join you out there one night, and that was a fun evening. Hillary, we let's talk about some more things about it's a great opportunity today to talk about some of the things you all are doing in the Daniels Center. And I guess when we obviously hit the highlight of what's going on right now with mental health services and awareness, but it doesn't end there. And let's kind of roll back a little bit to the beginning, because I love the story that you tell about how it all got started, and with General Huber.
Sure.
And it was like, he was, speaking of military, he was very mission specific when he decided that he was going to be part of this, and how he kind of laid out his vision for it all.
Sure, but so when he came in 2014, I'll talk about that in a sec. I have to say he was successful because of this community. Mm-hmm. This community here very much believes in veterans. At MTSU, we've been doing so much work on veterans. The memorial was built. We had committees that worked on this. I mean, this is the longest running football game for veterans. So when he came in, it was just absolutely perfect. He was the right person, and it was the right place. So he came in at 2014. He had just left active duty in 2013, I believe. He was at Walter Reed for a bit, had just come out of Afghanistan, moved here, and immediately wanted to get back to work serving communities and people in our country. And my husband happened to be the professor of military science at MTSU. He came in, both West Point grads. They started talking. Joel asked them to speak at the awards ceremony coming up in April for the cadets. General Huber says yes, comes. I'm sitting next to him, and I said, we're doing a meeting, and we're doing a lecture series on veterans in the fall. Will you come and speak? He says yes. He comes. He says, but I'm not going to come. At that time, he's driving from Franklin. He said, I won't drive him just for one thing. If I'm going to come, I'm going to be here all day. So we started him off at 6 o'clock in the morning with the cadets. He spoke to, I think, 3 cadet classes. He spoke to a history class. We had a lunch with all the deans. Then he met with the president. Then he did his lecture. So, I mean, he was here all day. We invited him to this game. He came to the game. At the meeting with the president said, we want you to open we're ready to have a center. We're at that point. Now think about that. There's very few centers like ours in the nation now. A decade ago, there was nothing like that.
Right.
So General Huber said, potentially, I need to know if y'all really are taking good care of veterans, if you're behind them. I'll come on a short-term contract, and Dr. Miller has to be part of that contract. So she's going to help it. So I still worked in liberal arts. I worked half time there and then 100% time for General Huber. I somehow made it work. It was the coldest winter. It was so cold. I felt really old saying that. It was the coldest winter, but it was so cold in 15.
It was like Valley Forge,
It was
right?
exactly the same as Valley Forge. And so he would walk all over campus to try to find veterans. And we had this idea. We knew where veterans were, and we did not know the breadth of all the majors that they had. And we didn't really have all the data that we have now. And so we would just go around. He would run me all over campus to try to find these veterans and ask them what their experience was like. We had all sorts of open kind of roll calls where we would have meals and they could come talk to General Huber and talk to him. But he would go into their classes. If we saw anybody in digital, he would grab them and ask them about their experience. Finally, they started letting us come into their classrooms. We would ask about their experience there. He wanted to make sure this was the right place to invest time, and it certainly was. But at the end of that experience, we met with Dr. McPhee, and we said we want to build a center. And he said, okay, so that's where we started. This next November will be our 9-year anniversary. And by our 10-year anniversary, we are going to be doubling the size of the Daniel Center. So we're expanding.
That was my next point.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure I had that right.
Yes.
That I'm thinking, did I remember hearing here recently that the size of the Daniel Center is going to be
probably more than doubles the size? We're at 3,600 now.
So basically, all the old mailboxes are going to be gone.
They're right, and so we're going to be extending out. We've already gotten most of the legacy wall for Mr. Daniels built.
Right.
And that you can come and take a peek, but we haven't had the grand opening. We're still doing there's still some stuff to happen. That will be the entrance, and then we're going to be all the way out to where the mailboxes were. Those will be gone. We assist people. We have a person that is upstairs in Career Center. He will stay there. That person's embedded. It's part of our team. We pay for him. That helps anybody on campus with jobs, dependents, spouses, veterans currently serving. Full-time, part-time internship.
He's in the MTSU Career Center.
That person will stay.
Right.
But Chris Rochelle, who helps anybody in the world with jobs, will come downstairs. The transition manager will come downstairs. We are hopeful that Commissioner Baker, I hope you're listening, sir, will give us another VSO to be in the office, because we keep the VSO we have now, the Veteran Service Officer, completely booked. And he probably serves 70% community members. He better be serving community members, because our students better already be in the VA system. But we need another one. We have a mental health counselor. We have people from the Guard that are there helping with the Strong program and helping people who might be interested in the military. Then, of course, we have our folks that certify benefits, that work on making sure that people are making good grades, that are making sure that any needs that they have, anything that is going to keep you from being successful in life, that is our mission. You can come in and say, I cannot pay my rent. We're going to try to help find you resources to do that. Anything that's going to make you maybe not successful as far as your life, because remember, it isn't always graduation that's the goal. It's just having a good life. If you need help, we're gonna assist you with that.
Yeah, and you all have been very good about whether a veteran is fully aware of all of their VA benefits. You all lay it out to them in a very easy way for them to figure all of that out. And because in my line of work too, those VA benefits for VA loans, things like that, for home ownership, those are all big deals.
General Huber and Lori Ogden and I are flying to right after we leave you on. Is it next Wednesday that we're going to come out and see your folks?
Either Tuesday or Wednesday. Tuesday, yeah.
We're going to leave you, and then we're flying to Alabama, and then the next week to Georgia. Those are not really, we're not trying to get folks to come to MTSU necessarily. We're trying to get them hooked up into their VA benefits and to understand what kind of things what do they need, and then try to connect those. And so we're going out to some businesses there.
I'm curious, are other campuses, or have other campuses reached out because this is the largest center of its kind to service veterans and military families on any college campus in the country?
Oh yeah.
And you all are kind of the model.
We will give away any and all trade secrets.
All the secret sauce.
I have said to people at any other school, if you would like to send interns here in the summer to spend time. Any of it. I have never written a sizable check to MTSU's Daniel Center. None of this was paid for by me. It was paid for by the state, by people who want to, charitable folks, by Mr. Daniels and individuals. So none of it's proprietary. And it shouldn't be. We're trying to make sure that veterans are taken care of. So all the time, I will send out what our policies are. These are our ideas. They may not work for your population. They may be. We have schools all the time that say, can we come visit? Yes. When do you want to come? If they can't visit, we will go to them. We will absolutely flip the bill to go there.
As a veteran and a recipient of every one of the services that Hillary just listed, I can tell anyone out there that is interested and even maybe perhaps reluctant to come and talk to these folks, don't be reluctant. Get over there and talk to them because they really are on top of their game and they'll help you very much.
Yeah.
And we will come to you too. So General Huber and I went to Adams Place a few weeks ago. Scott Dozer, the most wonderful VSO, and I traveled to a veteran's home the other day to make sure that they got their paperwork done. And then I found out one veteran was not doing his paperwork, and so I'm working with his wife today to make sure that General Huber goes out and visits with them, make sure that they do it.
Wow.
I will bring a 3-star infantry Green Beret to your house and make sure that you are taking care of your family. So I have no reservations.
So in case you needed a little persuasion here.
Yes, that's right, for sure.
Here you go. From the and Rachel, talk to you a little bit about that I know you've been here for a while, and Don has been part of this effort on the football game. You all have a committee that you all deal with. Talk about folks who are on the committee. You have a lot of veterans and civilians who are not employed by MTSU who have been part of this for a long, long time.
It's honestly my favorite game of the entire year, to have the opportunity to honor our veterans, our active duty service members, and the committee that comes together. We meet once a month. We meet pretty much year round to keep planning and always make every event better. I want to say it's probably 30 of us at least by now. Every meeting it grows.
And anybody can be on the committee.
Right.
And I think we meet year round because we just like each other. We really do. And that's why we're successful. If you want to be on the committee, email me and I'll put you on the committee because I'm the keeper of the list, and I invite anybody who wants to come. Anybody who thinks that they have a way to contribute, then come. So we would have the United Way on the list, the Red Cross, all sorts of anybody who thinks they might have something to offer. We ask that you get in touch with us and we'll put you on the list.
I think we pretty much have everything covered but the Space Force. So if anybody out there from the Space Force, come and see us.
Right. We've got some Air Force folks and we have Civil Air Patrol that's been trying to fill that gap, but it'd be really great if we had some actual Space Force.
Well, and I wonder if, Space Force is still so new.
Yes.
And has such a unique tie to MTSU, and for folks who don't know, Jamie Teachner, who wrote the Space Force hymn, or which is their own song, and it's been out.
I think it was debuted at the Veterans Game, as a matter of fact.
It was the first time that it was performed live.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It had been recorded, but it had not been performed live by a marching band.
We had to get special permission for that, and because of Jamie, we were able to do that. So.
Yeah, and so there, the MTSU has that connection, but Space Force is still so new. I guess there's some people who have.
There are some cadets, but they're not our cadets because we are we go to TSU for our Air Force folks, but there are some that have actually declared Space Force at TSU, but they're not MTSU. We've invited them anyway. We were like, come on, we would like someone to walk behind.
Yeah, during the halftime parade, we'll have Civil Air Patrol cadets walking behind the Space Force banner. So that we will have some representation.
Good deal.
I'm not sure if it's happened, but we always invite the visiting schools veterans to come and participate in the halftime march around the field. And
even the breakfast, we let them come eat.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
you're
good
too
that way.
nice
I
to
know.
them. Too nice for our opponents.
We're pretty all-inclusive.
Yeah.
So again, before we take our next break, Rachel, if you all can run through the schedule again, and we'll do it one more time before the hour's over, but just an opportunity here to let folks get this on their calendar.
Yeah, so we'll start the morning, so November 9th at 8:30 a.m. in the KUC Theater with the Veterans Memorial Service. Then we'll head outside
now,
to
the KUC Theater. Folks want to remember, if you remember going up to the grill
Yes.
It's right outside the grill.
Yep, above the post office.
Right, above the post office. It's on the level of the grill, and it seats about 200 people or so.
How about those folks that there was no KUC when I was here? Where is this KUC you're talking about?
Okay, so it would have been across from the ROTC building.
Yeah.
Got it.
And if you enter on the side of the building where the ROTC building is, that's the closest elevator as well. So easiest entrance in to get to the theater.
That's right.
And we'll have signage out pointing everyone in that direction, along with directions from the KUC out to Walnut Grove, so everyone can find the picnic, which starts at 9:30, and then Raider Walk at 9:45, and then we're going to encourage everyone to come back to the tent at 10:15 so we can present the Nunley Award winner. I don't know if winner is the right word, but recipient.
Recipient.
Honoree.
Yeah. There you go.
And then gates open at 10:30, and we're asking everyone to be in their seats by 11:30. I got some special pregame things going on.
Oh, I've heard about this.
Before our noon kickoff.
I have heard about this. We have had very unique game ball deliveries in the past.
Be expecting it.
And so be ready. Get in your seat early on November 9th because the game ball will be delivered. And I understand there have been practice sessions for this already.
We are in compliance with FAA rules. So
there you go. Okay.
We were turned down on the request to have foxholes in the middle of the football field.
Yes. That's right.
All right. That's the schedule. Again, we'll go through it one more time before we leave, but time for us to take a break. Back with more after this on the Roundtable here on WGNS.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to HIMSS.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to HIMSS.com/joy.
Parents, you can help your child sharpen their basketball skills while also encouraging positive spiritual change with First Shot Basketball Skills Academy and Winter League. Sign-ups are happening now. Led by Coach Andy Herzer, this teaching league is designed to build strong foundations not just for athletics, but for life. If your child is between 5 and 14 years old, they can participate at Hooptown this winter. Don't wait, spots are filling up fast. For more information and to sign up, visit firstshottn.org. That's firstshottn.org.
At Bud's Tire Pros, we sell all major brands of tires, and we invite you to stop by today for that next set of tires. Or maybe you need us to check out your vehicle before you head out of town. We offer everything from brakes to batteries, alignments, and more. No appointments necessary, just stop on by.
I'm Allison Mitchell with Bud's Tire Pros. We're located on East Main Street, exactly 3 miles from the town square, 1 mile past Rutherford Boulevard. Visit us online at budstireprostn.com.
Fellas, if you've noticed a lack of energy, motivation, and drive, it could be low testosterone. Don't wait. Get checked by the experts at Low T Center. They have over a decade of experience helping patients achieve life-changing results with testosterone therapy, or TRT. And for established patients, they offer the convenience of physician-monitored at-home TRT with advanced personalized plans that include both lab testing and self-inject medication. Low T Center makes it easy, shipping directly to your door. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment online. Low T Center, reinventing men's health care.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at wgnsradio.com.
Welcome back into the Roundtable here on this Wednesday. Coming up next Wednesday, we'll have an election recap. Larry Burris will join me among other surprises, hopefully, working on that right now to kind of give some perspective on Election Day on the backside of it and where we might be at 9 a.m. that day. That will be, like right today is Halloween Eve. And
get your candy out.
That's right. If you haven't gotten your candy, get it all ready. Now, Hillary, you've got a new event coming up we want to talk about.
So we have identified 71 students who fell in service. So actually 71 that went into service, 70 that went into service and fell in their actions, and one that went and was actually with the Red Cross and then passed in. So we included him. And so we have these names on the Veterans Memorial, and then we have painstakingly gone through and made a website that have their photos and their ribbons and their awards and their life stories on this. We have some that we don't have as much detail as we'd like, so we always ask the community if you to please take a look at the website, and if we have something wrong or not enough, or you have some great pictures that you'd like to include, please let us know. We want this to be their families and their communities' website, and for them to own this. One of the things that we are going to do this year, as I share with you, we have 14 students who fell in service in World War II, and we are going to go out. 14 of them. We have 14 of them that live here in I am messing this all up. So we have 14 that fell in World War II. Again, I've messed this up. We have 36 that fell in World War II. We have 14 that that are buried here in Murfreesboro.
Okay.
We have 3 different cemeteries, and they're buried here. So I'm asking the cadets to go out and to put on their graves a MTSU flag and an American flag. We have one soldier that fell in 1918, and I pass his grave
in World War One.
In World War One, but he's here in Murfreesboro, and I pass his every time I go to Miller Education Building. Sidney Houston Brown. I can see his grave from the road. I have very little on him.
He's there in Evergreen Cemetery?
In Evergreen.
Okay.
And we've tried to find the family through Ancestry. I have some people some graduates from ROTC. They were in the late 50s, and they're working on Ancestry for me, and we are trying to gather more information. But in the meantime, we really want to go and start marking these graves with the MTSU flag and the American flag. So while I may have confused all of those numbers at the beginning, please know we do have 14 here in Murfreesboro.
So 36 people who were MTSU students fell during World War II, and 14 of them are buried in Murfreesboro.
And actually, of the 14, those are just of the 71 that are MTSU. So they could be from, like you said, World War I all the way up. But we have a lot of them that are buried in Shelbyville, Nashville, Madison, Cookeville, all over the state, and then lots of them that are buried in France. My roommate from college went to Normandy this year and went out to the 2 that we have buried at Normandy and brought back things for the family. We are trying to find the family through Ancestry. So if you are going abroad or you live in other areas that are around here that have one of our fallen, we have redone the website so you can see where every one of them are buried. Or you could just email and say, is anybody...
And is that they can find that at mtsu.edu/veterans and...
/military.
And
then you go to the veterans. Yeah, you're not. I'm messing up all the numbers.
Yeah.
You go out to the Veterans Memorial that's on our site, and you can see all of their names, and click, and each one has a page. Or you can email me and say, I'm in Shelbyville. Could you send me the names and the locations and the flags? And we will do that. And if people would help us get that done before Veterans Day, I'd be very appreciative. And if you're going to France, get in contact with me too. So.
Well, I just saw some friends of mine who just got back from France. So
next time,
yes, that's right. And Rachel, you have a new event that will be part of the Salute to Veterans.
Yep, so we are continuing our donation drive that we do every year in conjunction with the Salute to Vets game. This year we are collecting toys, and we're working with Bravo, our student vets on campus. Jerry Stewart has worked hard. We're actually going to be competing with Austin Peay. So we have a few local schools, local colleges in Tennessee that we're competing with their Bravo and their student vets to see who can collect the most toys. So we need
definitely
every fan to come to Floyd Stadium with the toy. Unwrapped new toy will be appreciated. We'll be donating, each school or university that's collecting will be donating to the local school system for students in their area that need a Christmas present this year. And as you come up to the stadium, there's now the weapon detection system and all sorts of things. So those lifeguard chairs that are outside each gate, you can't miss them. They're bright blue.
Yeah.
I will have donation bins at each lifeguard chair. So you can drop your donation there as you walk into the stadium. And then outside gate 4, we're doing something a little special. We'll be honoring the College of Basic and Applied Science as well as the College of Behavioral Health and Science. Sorry, both sciences together to throw me off. But there'll be 2 bins outside that gate. So if you pick which college you'd like to support, and the college, they're having a little competition within the colleges as well. So lots of competition. It's athletics.
There
We
you
love
go.
a little competition.
Exactly. Now to throw some even more stuff out there, I want to take just a minute because not only is football still going on, we are hitting the overlap, what we like to call it in athletics, of football and basketball season. So November is our overlap month. Women's basketball has already played an exhibition. They have another one tonight at 6:30 against Lindsey Wilson. Uniquely, it will be Blue Raiders against Blue Raiders because Lindsey Wilson is the only other school whose nickname is Blue Raiders. So you can be part of that tonight. But the regular season for both the men and women starts on Monday. The men are at home at 11 a.m. It's a county schools game. You'll have 6,000 county school students in there.
Bring your earplugs.
Bring your earplugs, but come and enjoy it. It's fun. Talk about what that means for season ticket holders and what do they need to do on Monday.
Yep, so there'll be an email going out with all of the parking information,
Gotcha.
who can park where and all the things. But we will have the first 5 rows in the center sections reserved for season ticket holders. So if you have a seat normally and you'd like to come out to the game, please come join us. We'll have some seating reserved in the first 5 rows, and we'll have all of that marked off. So the kids will be above the rail, and below the rail in the center sections, we will have spots for our season ticket holders.
Okay, so that'll be Monday at 11 a.m. tip-off. Yes. And then the women are on the road at Northern Kentucky, and then they'll have their regular season home opener a little bit later next week.
Next Friday
night.
But tonight we're celebrating Halloween Eve, so all little ones in their Halloween costume can come trick or treat on the concourse tonight.
Oh my!
So that'll be fun.
Yes.
And so that's coming up, and so we're again. Don, go tell us, folks, about your other event that's coming up out at First Methodist.
Friday night, November 8th. The doors open around 4:30, and the meal starts around, a little after 5. We call this the Night to Honor. It's for veterans and their families. It's at First United Methodist Church, which is on West Thompson Lane. The speaker that night is retired Judge Royce Taylor. Again, it is a free meal for veterans and their families. You can call the church to register or go on the church website. First United Methodist Church. It's November the 8th, Friday night. We look forward to seeing folks there, and I think it should also remind you that the Middle Tennessee Symphony is returning to First United Methodist Church that night, and their performance starts at 7. Their program around Veterans Day, Chip, is usually centered around music from military, that kind of thing, and it's a program that I think people would really enjoy.
One other thing I want to mention while we're talking about this, of course, the halftime show it does not change, which I love because it's been the same for 42 years now. This all started back, Dr. Joe Smith, I guess, was the band director at the time. This will be Craig Cornish's final salute to veterans. He is retiring. And but I call him the head band coach, and this will be his last time to do this ceremony, and he and the Band of Blue are a huge part of this, and because halftime it's one of the most emotional halftime shows, and I mean I can feel the hair on the back of my neck stand up, and people well up watching when this happens. So I know athletics and the Band of Blue have a very special relationship, and this is just one more part of it, right?
Yeah, we could not pull off the game without their support and their willingness to jump in and learn. Last year, learning the Space Force.
That's 2 years ago now.
Two years ago.
So it does change. It does change,
Yes.
So we added a Space Force.
40 years in, we made a change.
That's right.
Yeah, just 40 years. That's the one change. We're resistant to change there. But again, that'll be part of it. All coming up on November the 9th, and that whole weekend. And again, we're just set to wrap it up. Again, Hillary, anybody that needs veterans information, does not matter if you're a student, alum or whatever, if you are a veteran and you need services or just questions,
Yes.
mtsu.edu/military. I got it
go.
right.
You got it right.
I got it
That's
right
right.
finally. And, of course, GoBlueRaiders.com has all the information on all of that. So, guys, thanks so much for taking time today.
Thank
Appreciate
you for
it.
having us.
Absolutely. And as we always like, you had something else?
I just want to say it's a great event, and I hope the community really support this. Another thing about the march around the field at halftime is that several of the veterans bring their family members, kids, etc.,
Grandkids,
and I think that that's something special too.
Absolutely.
So please, if you can make the game, please do. Tickets are free for veterans and their families, and we hope to see you there.
Some of the music you'll be hearing will be the Armed Forces Medley, and we're going to end our program like we always do when we do a veteran show with the Armed Forces Medley. So everybody have a great day, and keep it here on WGNS.
The United States Coast Guard. United States Space Force. United States Air Force. United States Navy. United States Marines. United States Army.
Premier 6 Theater on Broad in Jackson Heights.
Let's all go to the moon.